and welcome back to another installment. Here we go, guys. You know how we do, man. You know what I mean? We're doing another installment of the Writer's Corner today, right now. Could you believe it? Would you believe it? Oh my days, it's starting. And welcome. Let's type that message in one time. Welcome to the Writer's Corner. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Boom. There it is. We locking in. Today, we talking to masterful, fantastically talented, intriguing, most excellent. I mean, it's in his name. The guy's name, man. Picasso with a pen, man. Let's go, man. Let's go. Just waiting for him to pull in right now. Pull on up. He's just finding a place to settle in right now. Guys, listen to me, man. If you didn't know, well, now you know, man. You are meant for such greatness, you could not believe it. You could not believe it, man. If there's something in your life that you're trying to do, you know what I mean? There's a goal in your heart, you know what I mean? Just keep working, man. And if you don't know how to do something, you'll figure it out. You know what I mean? We got AIs, you know what I mean? We got people we can talk to, we can find, you know what I mean? Friends, family. But really and truly, sometimes you just gotta spend some time by yourself. You know, just you and your journal. You know what I mean? Just you and your journal. Go write somewhere. What's on your mind? How do you feel? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Why is this thing important to you? I'm just talking to you the way I talk to myself, to be honest, you know. These are the important tools, man. You know, in the conversation with Mr. Joseph Snow, he said that whenever he feels stuck, you know what I mean, like he has writer's block or something, he gets creative. You know what I mean? He just starts getting creative. Like he'll go paint, he'll go draw. You know what I mean? And I don't think he's necessarily masterful at those things. I think those are just things that he does to get his juices flowing. In a similar way in your own life, man. If you feel stuck, it's time to get creative. Go do something you ain't never done before. You know what I mean? Like, talk to that beautiful girl. Or like, read a book that you ain't never read. Or get adventurous. Go on a hike. You know what I mean? Come on, guys. Get creative, man. You're stronger than yourself. Image is right now. That's just the image of yourself right now. But you can make that a better way, in a better light. Welcome. The masterful and fantastic.
Ah, what's up, peoples? What's going on with you, family?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Every day above ground is a good day, you know what I mean?
That's a fact. That's a fact, man. It's a blessing to, wake up and get what you learned from yesterday and apply it. That's the key to everything, man. It's about learning, forever being a student, you know?
It's interesting you said that. Forever being a student. I was working with a lady once, and she said, "Young man, you need to stop being a student. Now it's time to execute." I said, "Damn, mom."
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
get it. I get it. I mean, you could look at it both ways because life is duality. You have to be able to be balanced. This thing is about being balanced. That's the key thing to be, having balance and know when to, play your hand and know when to bluff, so to say. But
That's right.
yeah, you have to pull the trigger sometimes, and sometimes it's better to just sit back and, you know, just analyze things, and then you gotta have the knowledge and the wisdom to be able to execute those things too, as well. So I get what mom is saying, but big up, much respect,
Much respect for you, big dog. Yeah,
Word.
bro. First of all, man, I want to say thank you so much for pulling up. You know what I mean? This is the series of conversations that we're having entitled The Righteous Corner. Man, it's just to ensure that cats like yourself who are just trying to be masterful at their skill, you
Copy,
know what I mean? These
copy.
tools of just how you create, they can be applied to anything that we're doing, man.
That's a fact.
But as we're diving in, bro, let, I have a question, man. I have a question, man. Like, you're a musician for sure, but
Right.
what do you love about what you do the most? Like, what's the thing that you love the most about what you do?
Um, it's therapy. The more older I've gotten, and understand and be able to analyze things, I started writing probably at 14,
Facts.
15. And from 14 to 15, you go through ebbs and flows. You finding yourself, you learning yourself through music and through writing. For me, is very therapeutic. As you know, going through this human experience, we lose, we fall in love, we fall out of love, we go through trials
Big
and
facts.
tribulations. And, one thing that's have been consistent is the music and is the growth of it and just the love of it. So, I mean, the thing I love about it, man, to answer your question, man, is just it's therapeutic. It's therapeutic for me to just to sit down and write without a beat sometimes and just put
Yeah,
down ideas and then come back to it a few weeks later and then form a whole new, meaning to it, a new song to it. So it's very spiritual. I look at music as just being spiritual and writing as just being spiritual, man. It's just tapping in and be able to edify your spirit, that energy within and put it in paper and manifest it is magical, man. To me,
that's
man,
right. Yeah,
Word.
yeah, word. I feel that, bro. I
Mm-hmm.
feel that. You, it's therapy. It's like, wow. When you're talking about your love for music and how it's been the most consistent thing in your experience,
Mm-hmm.
that really resonates. Is that how you began to figure out that this music thing is what I need to be doing?
Um, that's a good question. No, I mean, my early thing was school, man. A little bit about me, schooling and stuff, you know what I'm saying? My dad and my mother, they very like revolutionary minded. Um, my mother's from Trinidad, my father, he's from the States. And they met each other in New York City, and that's how I became. And my
Yeah.
family was very loving and funny and musical too. In the aspect of my father, used to be in the band and stuff like that. He had little spurts and stuff, but he put me onto a lot of jazz. I remember my early years listening to a lot of John Coltrane and
Yeah,
what you call it, Miles Davis and
that's right.
Thelonious Monks,
That's
Ella
right.
Fitzgerald,
Yeah, yeah,
and then it went from the jazz as my genesis is like the root, and then not me knowing and growing up, then it goes from Curtis Mayfield and soul.
yeah.
So then when I start listening to hip hop, I think the first my father taught a lot of the Wu-Tang members used to come to his classes. And one of
Yeah.
my father's right hand young guys at the time, protege, he was the manager for Raekwon the chef during the time that Raekwon was cutting, pretty much putting out the album Only Built for Cuban Links, classic hip hop album.
Hmm.
And I used to be in the back seat with my dad and his homeboy, and they would play like a lot of the early releases of the Wu-Tang stuff very
Wow,
early. And I
wow.
would be just sitting there like soaking it all up. As a child, children is sponges, you know what I'm saying? So they soak up
Yeah,
a lot of things. And I think that was like some of my early recognition of
for
me
sure.
realizing like hip hop, this music thing is a lot more deeper. And then when I start writing myself, I start really kind of like seeing when I was going through my trials and tribulations, adolescence, and
Hmm.
becoming a young man. I really wasn't trying to I didn't gravitate towards school a lot because I was reading a lot. And like I said, my family background,
Yeah,
a lot of the stuff that was being taught in school was kind of miseducation, especially for so-called black men and in Americas and in this diaspora and all over the world. When you have
word.
knowledge of self, you kind of like, that doesn't really kind of fit the mold. So I kind of start rebelling, and music was like my safe haven. Writing was my
Word.
safe haven, and
Yeah.
it all started from that Pharrell beat, man. Can I have it like that? and I couldn't catch that beat, man. I was skipping class, man, writing
Yeah.
days, bro. 2 weeks just writing days, trying to
Hey,
catch the beat. And when I
yeah,
finally
yeah,
got it, it came together. But yeah, man,
yeah.
I think that's when it kind of clicked to me, like, yo, man, I really love this thing, man. You know what I'm saying? This is
Word,
therapeutic for me. It helped me,
word.
you know.
You know, it's interesting that you say that because I was listening to your music, bro, and I'm thinking to myself, this guy sounds like Wu-Tang or one of them old niggas. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then you're saying that you grew up listening to these guys. You know what I mean? Like you had an intimate connection to them
yeah.
through your father.
Nah, that's a
So,
fact.
dude, I feel that revolutionary flow in you. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
appreciate it,
There's
bro.
that energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate it, bro.
No,
Yeah,
for real,
man.
man. For real.
Nah, I
You
appreciate
know,
it,
I
man.
got what, how did you come up with your name?
Um, I first started, my original rap name. I'm gonna take you through the genesis of it. This shit is crazy. My original rap name, man. I live in Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta in '96 from Brooklyn, New York. I'm from Brownsville, so I ended up
Yeah.
moving to Atlanta in '96. My first rap name, man. It's just not only hip hop. New York hip hop. I love hip hop. Period.
Mm.
When I start forming friends down here, a lot of my friends was from like Mississippi, um, New Orleans, and they brung their hip hop, and we began as friends mixing up the hip hop from this is AZ, this is da 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 da. So
Yeah.
Hot Boys was popping at the time when I was probably like 12. Hot Boys and Cash Money. My first rap name was Little Z.
Lil
Everybody
Z. I got
everybody had the littles in their name, bro.
big
So
facts.
my shit was Little Z,
Yeah,
and then
yeah, yeah.
from Little Z, I recorded under Little Z for a minute, probably about like 5 6 years. Then as I
Wow.
grew, I moved back to New York with my aunt and my cousins, and I was probably in high school. I then came up with the moniker Ted Bundy the God. That's what I
Interesting.
got. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted, yeah, I start getting into the mind state of like I start looking at them like how TV, how the society kind of like build people up that's infamous and that's known for infamy.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I'm
Yeah.
gonna take a negative and make it a
Yeah.
positive. You know what I'm saying? That's what kind of timing I was on. So I
Yeah.
took Ted Bundy the God moniker, and the TED in TED stand for teaching, educating dummies. And then the Bundy, a lot of people don't know that. Yeah, man,
Teaching,
I was,
educating dummies. Let's
yup,
get it.
teaching, educating dummies. And then the Bundy stand for believing, understanding, never doubting, Yah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Ah.
yeah, yeah. So
You went deep with it too.
yeah, I went real deep. I created that moniker in Queens when I was like 15, 16, and I was battle rapping cats. We was close to getting a deal, man. On me and my cousin EA, big ups to EA Baracus. He was
Word.
going as EA Baracus at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Big up to Ev Live, all my family that was curating and helping, you know what I'm saying, build this, you know what I'm saying, this moniker and this character, man, that you know what I'm saying, that I was running with. And then after that, um, I spread out from Ted. People start knowing me to Ted, and
Yeah.
I start going under that moniker, playing in video games. I'm big in video games too. That's where I met my brother Ace. Shout out, big ups to Ace.
Hey,
Um,
shout out Ace.
yeah, man. Shout outs to Hits, man. Hits is my brother, man.
Hey.
And yeah, I started going under that moniker, and we was bombing on people in Call of Duty. And then
Yeah.
after that, as I got older, I started thinking about it, having conversations with my dad. I'm very close with my parents, and you know what I'm
Word.
saying, just building with him and stuff like that. He was like, yo, he never really liked it, the Ted. He never really liked the Ted Bundy the God. People
Yeah.
used to react to me weirdly. I mean,
Of course.
enraged, like curse me out,
Yeah.
go crazy
Why would
on
you
me.
want to use that name? That's so
Yeah,
evil. That's, you know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, he's a rapist. He's a rapist.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I gotta take shit by force. It's like a metaphor. I'm taking over by force.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna give me nothing. It was more of a hungry mind
For
state. And my dad
sure.
just did. He didn't jack it, bro. So I
Yeah.
started thinking, doing a lot of rhymes and stuff like that, and a lot of songs we were recording, I start
Yeah.
saying I'm Picasso with the pen. I just start
Yeah, yeah,
saying
yeah.
it. It just start flowing like, yo, I'm Picasso with the pen. I'm Picasso with the pen. And
Word.
people was like, you know, a few people was hearing it, and people was hearing it. It was like, yo, that shit is ill.
Yeah.
And then after that, as my hip hop group, we began to spread, and then we try to get deals. We getting deals and blowing them, and it's a whole number of other stuff that goes along with it. But yeah, man, I end up falling back off of the music thing, just kind of rebranding and everything. And I start messing with a musician down here,
Mhm.
go by the name of Dave, the musician. I named him. He play on the keyboard, and
Nice.
he was like, "Yo, man, what you gonna go with?" I was like, "Yo, man, I don't know. I'm gonna just go with unknown." But I was like, "Yo, I'm Picasso with this shit, man. I'll be painting pictures." He was like, "Yo, you
Yeah.
paint pictures?" I was like, "Yo, that's what I'm gonna go with, man. Picasso with the pen, man."
Yeah.
So that's
I
what it's been, you know.
feel that. That's interesting. But even more interesting is that your name Picasso with a pen was like a natural thing that flowed out of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Ted Bundy the God was like a name that you gave yourself to kind of instill or transmute that negative energy into positive energy as fuel for you.
That's a fact.
So have you thought about, because you did say that writing is like magic for you, you know what I mean?
Right,
So a
right,
lot of
right,
that
right.
transmutation. So have you thought about how Picasso with a pen or what it deeper means or what it means more deeply? Much like you did with Ted Bundy the God?
Yo, Picasso is is similar to Ted in certain aspects, but he's more different in the aspect of Picasso is more introspective. He's more, you know what I'm saying? He's more closer to who I am as an individual, like my core.
Hmm.
Whereas Ted is like he represents my adolescence, my young adulthood, me
Yeah.
kind of finding myself. Picasso is more like, yeah, y'all niggas say I'm just a old rap nigga. I sound like a '90s rapper. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
show y'all niggas I could bust y'all ass on this shit right here.
yeah, yeah,
Let me
yeah,
do my
yeah, yeah.
old school shit, whatever, whatever. Niggas just saying when they say yo, you an old school rapper, or you rap like the '90s. This other words of saying you rap too good to me. That's what it means, you know. But
You too nice with it, big dog.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You too
He
nice
just
with it,
sound like,
man. God
yeah,
damn.
people like to box you. That's humans. Humans like to box you, man, no matter what you do. But
That's true.
yeah, man, Picasso's more introspective to me. He's more introspective where Ted was more of like shoot 'em up, bang, 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 let's have fun. More
Yeah,
like more darker, a little bit more darker and analytical. He didn't have no rhyme for reason. Ted was just he was cool, but he'd spray up the whole room if you piss him
yeah, yeah,
off.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you know, like Picasso
He's
is
like, you want the smoke? I brought all the straps.
right,
All
right,
right,
right.
all right.
Let's get it in. Let's get it in. I'm about
Let's
to
get
bomb.
it. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, but Picasso is more he's more introspective, he's more analytical.
Word.
More of the songs, new upcoming songs, I think I want people's gonna be able to see that and hear that hopefully.
Yeah,
He's more passionate.
yeah.
He's more forgiving of himself too. I think that's what
Oh,
Picasso is at. He's more
okay.
analyzing. He's kind of putting himself out there. He's more
That's pure.
analytical and forgiving of self, man. You know.
How about how about that? Hello, Miss Beautiful. Yo, bro. So now that you've created these two personas, and now you're really coming into yourself as a writer, as a musician, like you're really starting to feel all of your energies and pulling them together. How do you now balance being creative with being practical?
Mm. Well, being creative and being practical is, yo, you have to really, as an artist, you have to really, and as an individual, you have to this music thing. If you're gonna do it in any capacity, or just say figuratively, if you're trying to make a mark in the industry, you have to be
Mhm.
very, 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 you know what I'm saying, really pretty much you have to be honest with yourself and know where you need to be at and where you at financially. Because this is you know, this is a game if you want to play or the industry you want to play, your shit got to sound right. You know, it has to sound right.
Big fact.
So you could create, but you gotta. It's good to create, but also know the business. That's what we in right now in this
Yeah.
digital era. You artists have to know the business. Where I was coming up, I kind of hurt myself a little bit in the aspect of learning how to create my own production and shit like that.
Sure.
Whereas now a lot of these artists, they're good. I just focus on the pen and the writing and the creativity side. That's why I just wanted to be in where that's what I love, but you have to be more well-rounded, I should say. And to be that,
Sure.
you have to be well-rounded, but you have to also know and be honest with yourself because this game is you got to spend money, man. You got to
Yeah,
spend money to be in it, and you have to have an idea and a plan that works for you. And you have to be honest with yourself, man. That's just with anything. So, yeah, that's just me
yeah,
being practical, knowing where I'm at, knowing if I need to, right now I'm building my own studio. So
very
that's going to
cool.
cut a lot of the cost of me going to the big studio. See, I like going to the studio where, as far as all my European brothers, all my British brothers and stuff like that,
Yeah,
y'all more hands-on, and I respect y'all for that because that's why I learned from Ace, and that's why I learned from a lot of, what I'm saying, my other brothers that's out there. They like, yo, you got to be more hands-on with your shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to be more da-da-da-da. And I like that practicality of them.
yeah,
You know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying? But yeah, you just got to be honest with yourself and knows what works with you, man. And that's my
That's very
balance.
true.
You
I
know?
love that. I love that. You're being honest with yourself. And as it's interesting. You, you've used music, or music has been your therapy, right? But it's
Mm-hmm.
also giving you insight because now you're able to truly analyze yourself from from
Mm-hmm.
more than one perspective as a musician
Right.
because of your creative mind. But then because you understand the industry,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Hold on, bro. Yeah, I got you. I got you. When you need it by, it's only a dub. A dub. Yeah, I got dubs and I got like 40s and shit like that too. Nah, it's bigger than that. It's a whole ounce. All right, I bring it for you Monday then. I bet, bro. I will love. My bad, bro. What you were saying?
that's good, man. Gotta get
Mm-hmm.
that baby, God.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I love that you're able to mix your creativity and still be practical as well, because being truthful with yourself is important. But even, I want to go a little bit deeper. I like to focus on the creative process, but you're saying some very interesting things. So I wanted to ask, when you look at your counterparts in Europe and their hands-on perspective on the industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to the American version, where you guys are more about collaboration with
Mm-hmm.
more than one person, so having a team around you.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I'm noticing, and because of the trajectory of the whole Hollywood situation, all that jazz, what I'm noticing actually makes more sense for you to be more rounded, but because it's less likely that you'll get tied up in their crazy shit over there.
That's a
You
fact.
see what I mean?
That's a
Yeah.
fact. Yeah. I always listen. I have family over there. My grandmother's from Saint Vincent, and by the way of Trinidad and Tobago. So my
Right.
grandmother from an early age always used to tell me, yo, you have uncles and you have family over there. You have people over there. So my mom always been universal from a seed, you know what I'm saying? So I never was pigeonholed. I knew life was bigger and more broader than the states, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's what adds it on. But yeah, you guys are you guys are amazing. And I heard different artists come from there and writers like Marsha Ambrose. I love her writing. She wrote for Michael Jackson. I mean, one of the most beautiful songs. You know what I'm saying? Butterflies, like that. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that song. But yeah,
Shout
man,
out
you
to
got,
them.
yeah, you guys,
Nah,
man, you guys are amazing, man. You guys are amazing the way how you go about things and your practicality. And I think it's because you guys didn't get the proper shine, and it's now, and you guys are kind of getting
yeah, for sure.
colonized with the sound, and other people's taking and running and saying that they made y'all sound, but the real ones know. And yeah, man. I got that. I learned that from you guys, man. I'm still learning. I'm still learning, even with Ace Beats and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And Ace Production, from Frenchy Production, from Kojiro. Shout out to Kojiro French and Kilo, and Chops. When I listen to you guys' production,
yeah.
it's definitely a different tempo. It's definitely a different speed. But one
Different vibe.
thing I learned from UK and the European artists in production, you guys
Yeah.
leave little pockets in y'all stuff, and I hear how you guys sonically sound,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful. And if an artist could just focus on the pockets,
Yeah.
and you can make the UK sound is real bouncy. So yeah, man,
Yeah.
yeah.
They
I
said
hope
that
that answered
it
your
said
question.
that Drake doesn't listen to the music, he listens to the spaces between
Yeah,
it because that's where he sits. Bro, before we go, man, we're almost at the end of our conversation. This has been very interesting.
most definitely, man.
You said some
Appreciate you
very
having me,
fascinating
bro.
things. It's my pleasure to talk with you, man. You're masterful. I gotta know, what stories do you feel compelled to tell? Because you've had an interesting life. But
Hmm.
what stories do you feel compelled to tell? But even more, is there are there things that you're afraid to talk about as well? So two-part question. What stories do you feel compelled to tell? But what stories do you also feel like maybe I don't want to touch that as an artist?
Yeah, that's a good question, bro. The stories I feel compelled to tell, I want to definitely paint a different a picture and more closer picture to me. The more older I get, I want to kind of give that closer picture of who I really am, but not trying to like drown out. It's a balance. The word I always keep going back is a balance. Because Cujo
Mhm.
Goody said this from Goody Mob. He was like, "Yo, you don't want to really choke them out." Sometimes I get in my own head and my own pen where I want to go full blast and drop so much knowledge and wisdom that I
Yeah,
have to kind of always revert back and be like, I don't want to choke the listener out.
yeah,
So let me put
yeah.
this in a form where they could kind of easily digest it. And then
Word.
later on, if they really like me as an artist or they respect the music, they could go back to it and be like, yo, kind of like Wu-Tang. Like you could listen to a Wu-Tang song with me like 100 times and then find a different meaning or learn something new. And that's how I kind of go about it with my music. So I kind of want to bring out more of me, man, and more not trauma and redemption, trials and tribulation.
Yes.
I don't want to just focus on the trauma because life is
Right.
beautiful too. You
Yes,
know
it
what I'm
is.
saying? And it's definitely hopeful. I don't want to sound like a pessimist. I'm more of an
Mhm.
optimistic person, so I kind of want to resonate that through my music. Show all signs, man, all dualities, man. You
Sure.
know. And the
Sure.
second question, say that again.
What stories do you feel that you want to stay away from? Like, what stories are you shy to talk about, that you feel timid to talk about in your music?
Mm.
What's going on, Swag? Okay.
Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I think mostly I'm just more so of not. I kind of want to even though I'm saying all of that, I still kind of want to have a little slight division where I could have some type of normality
Mm-hmm.
with the people that's in my close circle. That I don't want to give all of that to the listeners, but I want to
Yeah.
kind of keep certain stuff for my daughter,
Yeah.
for my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
For my friends, my close friends, and my family. They can know
Yeah.
who Kazak is. You know what I'm saying? And they resonate with that individual opposed to, what I'm saying, let it bleed over and Picasso is this and you can't, it's this one big merge thing. I kind of
Yeah.
want to keep that line, not blurred, but kind of like a slight line where is sacred to certain things are sacred to
That's
my
right.
family and stuff like that. And certain
Yeah.
things are sacred to the listener. I want to bring that, but I want to kind of keep that balance that out a little bit. It's not more so like scared. It's just more so of just keeping that normality, man. Because I'm trying to take it into a form where it's kind of like make a mark and, definitely put a footprint in the industry, so to say. I'm gonna love music whether I what I'm saying, I'm big or not. And,
Yeah.
I'm always do music and always write, bro. So
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. I love that. Yeah, I love that. That's something that I'm glad that you're thinking about now. But you do notice that the way that they've structured the media space is, or just maybe that's a natural proclivity of the listeners.
Mhm.
We're gonna naturally want to know about your personal life as well. So
That
as you keep going forward, you gotta conceptualize, okay, what are the things that I'm gonna allow front facing from my personal life. You know, because after Picasso has stepped aside, they're gonna want to see me. So what am I gonna show? You know what I mean? Just something to
Right,
think about as we keep going.
right, right. Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, that's something I've been thinking about as myself, as because you know I'm doing these things not because of me, but because within my soul I feel I must be of service to my people,
Right,
right? That's why I'm having these conversations. Sure, I want to learn stuff too, but it's for
right.
the people. Man. You know, bro, I'll make this our last question before I go, man. You know, you use music as your therapy, man. What emotions do you feel drive you?
A lot of redemption I want to be the voice for people that can't talk or can't write or can't put it in music form or in lyrics. A lot of my friends that's not here, that didn't really get to live out, you know what I'm saying, that their dreams of just writing and being heard and doing music. I'm the voice for them. I'm the voice for a lot of the cats that's kind of feeling cast out and castrated in a sense. How the world in this matrix is taking a new form and they can't adjust. So I'm the bridge between that old and, so to say, this modern new.
Mm.
So yeah, man. And that's exactly why I'm focused on, and I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, emote those emotions, you know,
For sure.
properly. Hopefully it could kind of convey through my music, you know. So it's
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure what happened there at all. I'll give it a moment to see if he'll come back in so we could wrap this up. But this has been a fantastic conversation, man, with Mr. Picasso with a pen. Let me tell you right now, this gentleman, he is deeply magical. What are you talking about? He's used music not only as a therapy for himself to help him master his own inner world and consciousness, but now he sees himself as a revolutionary, someone to bridge the gap for between those who are disenfranchised, you know what I mean? The people who find it hard to cope and to adjust in these constantly and consistently changing times. He's decided to be a bridge to these people. I mean, what of love but a bridge? You know what I mean? This man is meant for such greatness. He couldn't believe it, man. And so are you. So are you. I encourage you to find within your heart that which is calling you, for it's time to answer. I'm uncertain that Mr. Picasso will be rejoining us. So, unfortunately, at this juncture, we will say good night. Thank you so much for your time and energy. We bless your lives. I bless your life with love, healing, and wisdom. And remember, you are meant for such greatness. You could not believe it. I bless your life.